fucking sucks.
Get me out of here. Like, why the hell are we watching this?
It broke me.
I'm so upset. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we have an extremely insane, crazy story for you. Not that the last one wasn't crazy and insane.
This one's not for kids.
So as you could probably tell from the title, we are talking about Escape from Tomorrow, and I don't know if any of you know about Escape from Tomorrow. If you are watching this video, that probably means, unless you're just like one of our close friends and supporters, that probably means you like Disney, so you might have heard about it.
I would just like to share a quick little story before we go into all
Please.
of this. Going into this, Katie and I were trying to decide on the second subject of our video, and someone suggested the 5G coronavirus theory, and I said, no, and Katie said, no, we don't want to make people, think about coronavirus. We want to take away from that.
We want to get you away from that world.
And then she chose this.
Which is not much better. It might make it worse.
If you are in therapy, just have their number ready to go.
Stay in therapy. So if you get triggered easily, then don't watch the film. But watch our video instead. It's a lot shorter, surprisingly.
A lot funnier.
And a lot funnier.
A lot more in color.
Yes. Why don't we do a fun little game to start out this video? Let's put 30 seconds on the clock and let's see if we can try to summarize this film in 30 seconds. How do you feel about it?
I feel great. So we meet this family and they're great. They're going to Disney World and it's awesome. But the dad is kind of a perv and into other women. It's fine. So they're going to Disney World and he keeps following around these other maybe under 18 girls. It's not great. And then I don't even know. They lose their daughter during the fireworks at Epcot after he sleeps with a Disney princess. And he goes to find his daughter and gets tasered, wakes up in a secret underground society under Epcot, escapes. I butchered that. I only got to about halfway. I know it's halfway because there's literally a title card that says intermission halfway through the movie.
There is.
Katie?
Basically, there's this family. We start on the dad, and he gets a call that he's lost his job, so he's really angry, but he's like, we're gonna have one final good day in the parks. He takes his family. You can already tell there's some tension between him and the mom. He becomes obsessed with these underage girls. They're definitely underage. One of them literally has braces, and the little boy's like, Daddy, why are we following them around? Stuff happens, and he ends up having sex with this woman who was a Disney princess. But then she turns into the evil queen, but it's the daughter was scared of the evil queen from Snow White, so then this woman steals his daughter and turns her into Snow White. She used to be a princess in the parks, but she literally tried to kill a little girl, so she obviously got fired because Disney doesn't stand murder. Then he gets a disease called the cat flu that's spread by coughing, but it's only supposed to affect children. But he gets it, he gets really sick, he starts literally pooping his brains out in the contemporary bathroom, and then he starts turning into a cat, and then he's dead. And then these weird Disney coroners come in and they try to remove his body from the room, but then there's something weird that happens with the little boy, and then suddenly he's in a new family and he's married to the woman who was the evil queen. Anyway, that was way over 30 seconds.
Can I go through the running list of subjects that they tackle that are important?
Yes.
Okay. So, in this movie, we have kidnapping, a hypnotic amulet, a pandemic that turns people into cats, exploding landmarks, secret animatronic societies, dysfunctional family, princesses turned witches, and demon children.
Yeah.
And more.
We could sit here and talk about how weird this movie is and how it makes zero sense, but I think it's more interesting to talk about the man who made it and why he made it. And it sounds boring, but it's not, all of the legal stuff that goes into all of this. Basically, this movie premiered at Sundance in 2013, and if you're surprised about that, me too. It is a black and white film, shot guerrilla style. Guerrilla style is no permits, no permission. So they just went into the parks. They shot in Walt Disney World and also Disneyland. They shot in Magic Kingdom and Epcot, and then Disneyland in California. Yeah, with literally zero permission.
Why did you think you could get away with it?
But he did!
It's shocking that they got away with it, but it's more shocking that they thought they could.
Well, this man I've read a lot about him, and he said he lost like 47 pounds from the sheer anxiety of this experience.
Note to self. Try to shoot a film in Disneyland.
Literally, weight loss secret. There was a lot of planning that went into this. See, I just thought it was like this guy went in with an iPhone and a weird ass script and was like, let's do it. But it was actually kind of a lot. The people you see in the background are not extras. These are just people in the parks. Like, they went in on a normal operating day and they filmed this movie. So this man we keep talking about, his name is Randy Moore. He's been going to Disney World since he was a child with his family. And then his parents got divorced. His dad lived in Orlando, so he would always travel to Orlando to stay with his father, and while he was there, they would always go to Disney World together. And he was getting older at that time and realizing how much he hated his father and how much disdain he had for this man, and he slowly started to realize that, like, this place that was just sheer happiness for him is now turning into this horrifying, gross place. We all have that song we can't listen to because of an ex. Like, it's that, but to an extreme level. And I feel like that's kind of brilliant.
This whole park was descending into chaos for, like, no reason. But once you know the story, like, that makes total sense.
Overall, this film was originally intended to be a satire about this man's father.
And I didn't know that.
We watched this movie under the guise of this is a fully serious film with too many moving parts. It's disturbing. It's like kind of horrible. But knowing that it's a satire and knowing that it's a very specific satire and it's like the point is you're trying to ruin the most magical place on earth.
I think it's smart. Like, this place was just ruined for him. And he's trying to convey that. Because the dad cheats on his wife multiple times throughout the movie. And, like, follows around not age-appropriate girls. Probably illegal to be attracted to girls.
She has braces! I'm sorry, but when I had braces, I was freaking ugly, and no one should have looked at me in a sexual context. I'm sorry.
You were also a minor.
I mean, yeah, but mainly I was ugly.
Anyway, I think it makes sense that this man ruins Disneyland for his entire family. And that's what I thought the whole time. But we had talked about beforehand that, like, we felt like they relied too much on the concept of it. Of, like, we're going to shoot this illegally in Disneyland and it's going to be great and everyone's going to want to see it because of that.
Right. It was like a crutch.
But knowing that the whole point is, like, to condense, like, 18, 20 years into an hour and a half, it does its job, which sucks. I really wanted this to just be a video of us ripping apart this movie.
I know, that's what I thought we would do. I thought we would talk about how stupid it was, but instead I'm like, wow. They literally took daddy issues and they put it in Walt Disney World, and let me tell you, if that ain't art...
Why, though? We already have the Goofy movie. That's Disney daddy problems.
Oh, you're right. This movie ended up with a budget of $650,000. He tried to make this movie with just his friends and himself, and he had a complete and total mental breakdown. Literally, official articles were saying this man had a breakdown. So, I read about the DP. When he was asked to do this project, he was like, oh my god, like, this guy knows somebody, he's somebody's kid. Like, the guy was like, no, we're sneaking in. And the man was like, all right, I'm on board. We've addressed on this channel that we are little goody two-shoes, and if we got caught, we would cry and then eat like 20 pounds of Taco Bell. Like, what would you do if you're like in Disney World and you are like, did they just kick you out or do you get like sued?
There's a whole bit in like Small World where the dad is like trying to like climb out of the ride or whatever. Like, he's like lifting himself.
Yes.
I'm like, why would you film that? Like, you're already pushing your luck.
I thought the exact thing.
On IMDb, they said they filmed that scene 12 times. He made them ride Small World 12 times so they could get through that.
So, moving on to Sundance.
Which was the name of my first dog. That's not relevant, but I had a dog named Sundance.
Wait, really?
Yeah, my first dog was named Sundance.
That's so cute. They never expected for it to get into this film festival. It's so hard to get into Sundance. Obviously, anyone who knows about film festivals even a little bit knows that this is like the film festival.
And Katie, have you ever been to Sundance?
I mean, I don't like to talk about it, but like...
That's funny because when we worked together at a production company, that's like all you talked about.
Oh my god. Yeah, I went to Sundance. I literally don't stop talking about Sundance because it changed my life. It was transformative.
Oh my god.
It was!
You sound like a Christian girl who just went on a mission trip. We might need to take that out because anyone from my hometown just stopped watching.
Literally mine too. Anyway, they said once they got in, they were like, okay, where do we place this? They decided to stick it in the next category, which, if you've been to Sundance, you know that is for experimental films. It gains a lot of buzz because there's no way this film's gonna see the light of day. It's never going to be released. It's never gonna get past Sundance because Disney's gonna see it and they are going to shoot that down so hard, they're gonna get sued out of their minds. Just in case that happened, he decided to do a press screening so that the press could watch it and then they could write about it regardless of whether it went past the first day or not.
They were smart. Everyone involved in this was smart.
Everyone involved, including Disney. Moore invited a Columbia Law School professor to Sundance with him so that he could watch it and kind of give his feedback. This man literally sat 2 seats away from Disney executives, and he determined that this movie did not violate any copyright laws. It was all under fair use. I took a media law class last year. He was encouraged to up the satire so that it could be undeniably parody, and he actually went on to write a pretty famous article for The New Yorker talking about it. He said in The New Yorker, it would be one thing if Moore merely used Disney World to embellish his film, to serve as a pleasing backdrop for some light romantic comedy. But his use of Disney World is not a simple window dressing. So yeah, what's your hot take?
Holy shit. The movie is so bizarre that it has to have a bizarre origin story too. It pissed me off watching it. And I don't like that it's so well thought out and so well planned. It's like this entire like chronicle of how this kid like saw the flaws in an adult that he loved and looked up to, and then like how he got that story told and presented in a way that like required absolute precision and like the legal footwork.
Could Disney actually sue them? I think yes.
Oh, I think they could if they wanted to.
So why haven't they?
If there was a lawsuit for a film in Sundance that was legally filmed at Disney World and Disneyland and Epcot, everyone would want to watch it. And if you hear it's like this bizarre movie with secret animatronic societies and all the insane things we already listed, like, you're gonna want to watch it.
The T is, any press is good press.
And any press is good press.
And I don't know if I necessarily ever believed that, but people are still talking about you. And the people that are talking badly about you are bringing in people who could be talking good about you.
This video is dedicated to our haters. Keep talking shit. We look cute while you do it.
I can't believe I just...
Did you just end bullying?
I think I just ended bullying
I was
right
about
then
to
and
say,
there.
see something, say something.
I don't think that's for bullying. I think that's for terrorism. Anyway, the Siemens Company.
I thought this was fake.
They're the ones who sponsor Spaceship Earth. And Spaceship Earth actually brings a big plot line to the forefront here. I guess it's a subplot. It's not really the main plot.
There's a point in the movie where you enter a secret underground society of animatronics run by seamen underneath Spaceship Earth. You think that would be the main point of the movie. It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
He's like in this room underground and this scientist is there. He puts like this guy's own personal Epcot ball around his head. And so this guy explains that like, I'm from Siemens, like you've seen us around, but like what do we do? Because that is the thing. When you go to Epcot, you see it everywhere, but what do? Like, who are they? We've never heard of them outside of Epcot. Anyway, side note. So he's basically like, we're doing experiments. And then suddenly, before you know it, this guy's like, you know, he's in his little Epcot ball, and then the Siemens scientist's head just falls off. They reveal that the scientist is a robot. I guess that was like their jab at Siemens. They're robots.
There's also the jab of seamen, in which something that looks like the name of the company splatters everything in the room. My mom watches these videos, so I don't know how else I can say this.
I don't know what to say about that. We're just gonna leave that at that.
I don't want to beat a missing horse. But do you know what's right next to Spaceship Earth? The Wonders of Life Pavilion. Do you know who got taken from the Wonders of Life Pavilion? Buzzy.
Buzzy! Think about how much better it would have been if Buzzy was the scientist.
Or if Buzzy was in it.
Okay, favorite line in the entire film, go.
You said I look like Emily Dickinson.
It's the most brilliant moment.
This wife has watched her husband do all this crazy stuff, and the breaking point for her is when her son tells her that the dad told him that she looks like Emily Dickinson, and she comes up just livid. You said I look like Emily Dickinson.
I have to say, I think my favorite moment is when he says that in the first place to his son. I lost it. His son sees the girls, and he's like, Dad, why are we following them? And he's like, we're not. And the son is like, they're pretty. And the dad's like, yeah. And then the little boy is like, do you think mommy is pretty? First of all, he takes way too long to answer. And then he's like, yeah, she's, beautiful, but not in the classic sense. And I thought, rude. This can't get any worse than that. It does. And then he goes on to be like, like Emily Dickinson, or like Tina Fey. What? First of all, Tina Fey is
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I saw a picture from a photo shoot she did the other day, and I had feelings about it. She's brilliant.
Anyway, that was probably my favorite moment. A close second was the mom was yelling at the dad for not putting sunscreen on the little girl. And she goes, "It's Florida, Jim!"
I also am a very big fan of the moment that they blow up Epcot for maybe 2 seconds. They blow up the Epcot ball. The Epcot ball like falls and starts to roll, and people are running from it. And you just never revisit that. Like, I feel like if you're gonna spend money to get that shot, like, have it be like recurring. Like, oh my god, this beautiful place is gonna fall or something. Don't just use it once.
Oh my god. The scene of the nurse is one of my favorites. It's so brilliantly melodramatic. I know we said we weren't gonna talk about the pandemic, but there is a slight pandemic moment in the film.
Turns
called
people
cat
into
flu.
cats.
How did we get from daddy issues to cat flu?
Something about a pussy.
Anyway, and there's this nurse, and she knows about the cat flu. She does. We can tell.
Because she cries for a solid 30 seconds after they leave the room.
She does, and it's so freaking brilliant. Insert clip.
It only affects children, but mommies and daddies should be careful too. You could be a carrier and not even know it. Do you want to lolly?
And then she gives them lollipops, and then she literally cries.
For so long.
But I want to know why. She's like, everyone's worried about the cat flu. It's like, yeah, right now everyone's worried about the coronavirus.
You're not special, Cindy. I don't
I don't
know.
know what role she played in their journey.
I don't either.
Besides that the dad did want to have sex with her.
The dad wanted to have sex with everyone.
He is following around people with braces. No offense to people who have braces. Like, y'all are hot. Oh my god, how have we not talked about this? It's not a flashback, it's like a vision. He's like going on Soarin' with her and his daughter. That didn't happen, right? Because then immediately after, she comes over and spits on him.
No, and while they're there, her naked body is shooting across the screen.
Oh, right, I forgot about that. I'm so upset. There's just so much, like, you can't even remember it all.
None of it's necessary. It's the most absurd, unnecessary movie ever.
If we would have just kept with this, we could literally talk for about 2 hours about how absurd and kind of awful and horrendous this movie is. Knowing it's supposed to be horrible and horrendous and awful helps to see the actual artistry in it. Artistry is a stretch. I watched it for the first time when it first came out, and I was very young. I can't do math, but I'm 22 now, and it came out in 2013.
15?
Math genius over here. I will say it made a little more sense this time than it did that time. I was also scared. I was like, my mom's gonna find that I was watching this, and I'm gonna have to explain to her why I was watching a movie with boobs in it.
I have so many feelings about this movie.
Oh,
and I took notes during this movie.
Oh, please read them aloud.
You said I look like Emily Dickinson. They very casually blow up Epcot. CGI skeleton. Intermission. They literally just put the words intermission across the screen. It's a movie.
He's in the land pavilion, and all of a sudden these people attack him, and like, did they like stun gun him or something?
It's like an old cartoon. They shock him, and you see his skeleton when he gets electrocuted.
And then they're like, intermission!
If they don't do it in Endgame, you don't need to do it in this movie. Oh, the dead child. So I thought the daughter was dead.
Yes.
Because he went to go see the evil queen lady,
Right.
and the daughter was just laid out on the bed, and I was like, they're not above killing children in this movie.
So she hypnotizes him, has sex with him. Later, he finds out that this woman is the evil queen from Snow White. His daughter earlier in the movie was really scared of the evil queen from Snow White when they were riding the Snow White ride. Oh my god, R.I.P. That ride was amazing. We literally see the daughter like posted up like Snow White, like on a bed of flowers, like dead essentially.
The one thing I did like about this movie is the bits where they couldn't have shot them in the park, or they couldn't have done anything like that. They do a really good job at using like the green screen and things like that. It has a very like old Hollywood, like French New Wave film like feel.
And I also will say I think the black and white was a choice. It was a good choice, I think. I don't know if this was the intention, maybe it was, and maybe I'm just a film major snob, but it took that like, the magic's been taken out of Disney World for him. The magic's been taken out of this movie, because seeing Disney World in black and white is not as magical.
My last notes are aggressive diarrhea, what? Poorly censored too. This scene is filmed in a hotel bathroom, so they clearly were not going to have an issue of someone coming up to them and yelling at them for filming without a permit, and they just pixelated him sitting on a toilet. Like, it feels like you're watching reality TV.
They've already shown us like 50 million boobs.
It was disgusting.
So bad.
I FaceTimed Katie dry heaving. And the whole point of it is he like turns into a cat,
He has the cat flu.
and then he starts vomiting, and then he like rolls around and like looks at the door, and his son opens the door and he goes, "Get your mom," and the son's eyes turn black and he closes the door, and the next morning his wife wakes up and opens it, and he has this horrifying face.
I don't even know what to say about the ending. Sometimes we got the symbolism of certain moments. The end, I don't even have a guess. This man died. Like, they fully zipped him up in a body bag. They had special Disney coroners that came in and took him away, and this guy touched the little boy's head, saw how much he loved Buzz Lightyear, gave him a Buzz Lightyear pin, and then we see the dad with the new family.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's so weird. I guess the only thing I could think was like he didn't want to be there with his family, and this is like what he wanted.
Or it was like a reference to his dad leading a double life. What was weird for me at this point was this is the only part where we really see like Donald, Mickey, Goofy, Pluto, they're running around, they're like waving to the crowd. If you're gonna use that, why would you not use that the whole movie? Why would you not make the most of like using all this like IP and like copyright property?
I think I just got the little boy moment. So maybe that was his like working through it. Because the one time he was happy with his dad that day was when they were on the Buzz Lightyear ride. Or in line for the Buzz Lightyear ride. What if that's his way of saying like, yes, everything's ruined for me, but I can still look back at before this and remember how happy I was and like remember the good about it.
You can't wrap up that movie nicely. You can't answer all the questions. So you might as well just give another big question.
Yeah. It's unsettling because you know Disney World and you know the imagery associated with Disney World, and you do not think that you're gonna see what you see associated with Disney World in this way.
Yeah, we talked about this. Another one of our favorite movies is Midsommar, and they kind of do the same thing in this movie that they do in Midsommar. And like, oh, look at this pretty idyllic place. We're gonna kill a bunch of fucking people right now. It just totally subverts what you would expect in like the happiest place on earth. Just watch this movie if you want. Look it up first. If you've gotten this far and you haven't seen it, we've spoiled everything.
Ah, true.
Look into it, check it out on IMDb, things like that before you watch it, because if you can get through it, it's bizarre. Let us know what else you guys want to see. We're not sticking with just Disney, just theme park, just anything like that. We're just trying to give you guys things to watch and engage with and entertain yourselves with.
But also we love Disney, so if that's something you guys want to keep seeing, let us know. If that's not, let us know, because we will literally talk about anything.
You can follow us on Instagram. Feel free to give us topics on there, do whatever, and we will see you guys next Monday.
Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.